Are insurance rates skyrocketing? Let's find out on One on One. Hello, welcome to One on One. We're filming this at AirVenture. It's been a great show, and we're going to find out about insurance. We have with us Jerry Clements. Jerry, thanks for coming on.
Glad to be here, Dan.
All right, so we got lots to talk about and about insurance, and let's just jump right into it. Are they skyrocketing?
They were the last few years, with all the things that have happened, but they're actually leveling off. Things are getting a lot better.
Okay, so that's great news. Why? Is it because we're seeing fewer accidents? I know it seems like, because we see every single mishap on social media these days, it seems like there's more wrecks than ever, but they're actually coming down, aren't they?
I think that it's not that much down, but it is down, and there is some progress there. But I think overall, the prices are really coming down because of the competition.
Okay.
There's more insurance companies in the market now than there were before. Yes.
Because like 3 years ago, you were telling me how some people had gone out and had gotten really tight.
That's correct. And with aviation insurance, some of these companies will come in for a while they're making money, and then when they're not, they decide to step back out of the game. But now they're back in, and things are looking pretty good.
So we have more underwriters, and with that, the prices at least stabilize or come down.
Yeah, they're just stabilizing, and I think that when you're going out shopping for aviation insurance today, you're going to be able to find a fair rate.
All right. When people call you to inquire about insurance, what are some of the most common questions you get?
Probably the most common question is, hey, I want to buy this new airplane. How much is the insurance going to cost for that? Or how many hours do I have to be able to get insured on that aircraft? And the typical answer is, well, we can probably get you insured where you're at right now. It just depends on how much money you want to spend. So,
okay, and that's all contingent on the hours?
Well, depending on the aircraft. If you go with the typical Cessna 172 or a Cherokee 180 or 140, then we can insure you quite easily and quite competitively with no hours. As a student pilot, it's no problem at all. But where the issue comes in is when you have someone with low experience and they want to buy a high-performance aircraft a
Cessna 210, for instance.
Well, Cessna's 210.
With 6 seats.
Malibu.
Meridian, yeah.
Meridians. And, people do want to do that, but it's not necessarily wise, at least flying it by yourself. But what you can do there is hire a mentor pilot to fly with you, and then you can have instruction all of this time that you're flying your aircraft, and you get a better rate.
Until you hit some of those first milestones to bring the rate down.
Right.
Okay.
We're actually insuring the Epic, which is a $4 million aircraft with guys with under 1,000 hours. But what we're doing is they are hiring a mentor pilot that's a professional pilot to fly with them until they are experienced enough to fly that plane themselves.
But if somebody wants a retract 6-seater single engine piston, I know that for a while there it was like, well, good luck unless they have 100 hours or more in type, or 200 even. How does that look now? If let's say I'm back in time, I'm buying Lola, my 210, and I want to get insurance, and I have 120 total hours, and I have 20 hours in a complex aircraft, not even a 210. What would I be looking at today?
That would be pretty tough, and nowadays.
Tough just to get it, or tough as in really expensive?
It would be really expensive, but it's still really expensive. And when a scenario like that doesn't make sense, sometimes I try to take the focus off of the insurance and put it back on the safety of your family.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not all about insurance. It's what's the most important thing. It's the most important thing is that you take care of those that you're hauling around. And if you can get by and fly that aircraft, fine. But if you really don't have the experience, you should probably get some more instruction.
Okay, that's a great perspective that I hadn't really thought about. If your insurance is through the roof, it's because you're probably not in a category that's super safe.
That's
you're
correct.
in a much riskier category. That's a really good point.
And it's something that you should reflect on and say, look,
what do I need to do?
Why my insurance is ridiculously high? Maybe it's because I'm doing something unsafe.
Or or there's a lot of avenues to become safer. A time build.
Absolutely.
Training.
Training.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Jerry. When I first switched my insurance over to you, you ended up saving me quite a bit of money. It caught me by surprise. Why?
Dan, I believe you had an accident at the time.
I did have a claim.
Yeah,
I had a
claim.
prop
That's
strike.
all it was. It was
Yeah.
a claim. You're right.
Yeah, just a prop strike.
A
Yeah.
hail claim. Anyway, there was. So, with that, and I feel like that it was something that we were able to negotiate with the underwriters, because and sometimes those claims like that need to be underwritten. And they need to be looked at a little closer, and we took the time to spend time with the underwriters and negotiate with them and talk to them about you and all of your qualifications, and make a presentation about you and show them all of your accolades and what kind of pilot that you are, and come up with a good, fair price for you.
Okay, so that's great that I have an advocate going to bat for me to knock down the cost some.
And that is what it takes. It takes time, and it takes more time than the norm to do that. But for me, I absolutely love doing what I do.
Right.
And so when something like that happens, I consider that a win, to where I've helped someone.
Yeah.
And you just
It was a win for me, that's for
so
sure.
much satisfaction for that it makes it fun.
Okay, one of the things I really appreciate about you, and actually all my sponsors, every single one of my sponsors is run by pilots. You're a pilot. So when these pilots call for aviation insurance, they're not talking to somebody who hasn't been in stick and rudder, and you were doing some really cool flying recently. Tell me about that.
Oh, this year I'm participating in the National Stol competition, which
That
is
is
a
so cool.
freaking blast.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
so much fun, such good people, and what's really cool about it is,
You're
I'm
winning.
I'm winning. That's
what's
kinda
really
fun.
cool.
But it teaches you how to be a better pilot.
Yeah.
So, and I've been around this for several years. My nephew Austin Clemens has been doing it for quite some time.
He's been a rock star.
Oh yeah, and to watch these guys with lower time that haven't done things like this, and the group of people around that support them and help them and show them how to fly their aircraft safer. And they teach them about energy management and teach them about the do's and don'ts on when you are flying slow, the things to do and not to do. And it's a wonderful education, and it's tons of fun. So anyway, it's been a great year doing that, and we actually just had the Stol competition right before Oshkosh down in Hartford, which was so much fun. Tons of people and lots of planes, and anyway, it was great.
I was talking to Hoover from Pilot Debrief, and he was talking about how it would be really cool to establish more education training programs, and what it would take to get those recognized by some of the underwriters to help knock the cost off and get some of these pilots. You said training, to give them training. Is that something that's viable? Will the underwriters listen to somebody like Hoover who's creating a program?
I believe they will.
Okay.
So what every underwriter seems to want is you to do more training.
Yeah.
And so, to put a discount in there for everyone that comes up and says, I want to set up a training program. I don't know if we could do that for everyone. And not all insurance companies will accept that the same way.
Right.
But, one of the things that most all insurance companies want to see is that, and they do have certain things that some of those companies put up, like the Wings program, the Bonanza programs, and the Cessna programs. But, there's hundreds and hundreds of those. But the best thing to do is to take your program and, I've talked to him and told him that we would sit down with some of the underwriters and just look at it.
Yeah.
Which is great because they all want it.
Yeah, and we can get their input. We can get, somebody like Hoover's input, get CFI, get everybody come together about what is best, what the best training out there is. We can be safer, we can have less crashes, and rates come down.
We work with some of the manufacturers today and help them develop training programs for their specific aircraft. And that's really important as well. And not just the general, but training specific for your plane.
Here's the PA-46 class. Here's the TBM.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, and that's one of the things that I've been doing here this week is with one of the aircraft manufacturers is sitting down with the underwriters and talking about building a syllabus just for that specific aircraft. And then after the syllabus is complete, we're going to send it to the underwriter, let them review it, and see what they think. And then go back and forth like that so that they feel comfortable and they get what they want out of it. And if you want the best rate, I feel like that's the best way to go.
Nice. Okay, well, we're here at AirVenture. We're taping this at AirVenture. This will be released in a little bit, but we've had a few crashes here, and it happens every year. When you get 10,000 airplanes coming in, the numbers are just going to be there. But what have you taken away from some of what we've been seeing here?
First, it's a very sad thing, and sometimes it's this. We're repeating ourselves on the same mistakes. But honestly, I don't know what happened. That person that was in there was friends with my son.
Oh my goodness!
And he was an ATP that flew airlines with Chandler. He's an AT pilot too, and so who knows? Who knows what it was? But actually, right before coming over here, I was on my way to go look at a crashed aircraft that happened on Saturday, and it's sitting over there, but I was taking one of the other aircraft manufacturers over to look at it, and I just dropped him off and sent him on his way and turned around and came back here. I'd forgotten what time we were supposed to do this. But, on that note, with a crashed airplane, you total your aircraft. Let's talk about
value.
Let's talk about values on what they're going to do if you do crash your airplane.
Okay, that's a great point. So I remember good friends of mine. Actually, I had a partner in Lola early on, and then I bought him out, and he went and bought into a P210, and they put a brand new, Vitito engine into there and, really got it up and going. And shortly after it was returned to service, the plane crashed and was totaled. Everybody survived, so that was a really good thing. But they ended up being about $100,000 underinsured on what they had, all the stuff that they'd done. The insurance was back when it was sitting in the hangar for a year, getting the new engine and getting everything else. I immediately called you and said, let's get this thing insured higher.
Right.
Are you seeing a lot of that, of being underinsured?
In the last few years, aircraft have increased in value quite a bit.
Oh,
during
yeah.
COVID.
Oh, yeah, that's really what caught me on Lola.
Right. So, when you put the insurance on there, maybe it was fine, but the values have gone up so much that, what happens if you do total your aircraft, if your value is if the loss is over 70% of the value, they consider that a total loss, or they're going to total loss your airplane and give you the value of what you have it insured for. And so if you want to be insured correctly, insure it for the value. Don't insure it over the value or under the value. Insure it for what it's actually worth.
And then revisit it every year
Absolutely.
as it changes, because that's what caught me, is that we did insure it for the value from day one. Little did I know we almost doubled in the value of the airplane. And so if I were to have been totaled, I'd get a check for half of what the plane's worth.
Right.
Yeah, and that's travesty. So, all right, that's a good takeaway. We need to make sure, check your value right now. It needs to equal what you would sell it for.
Those underinsured aircraft, what happens is the insurance company will pay you the amount you have them insured for. And then they will give you the option to buy it back for whatever the salvage value is willing to pay for it, or the salvage companies.
Right.
And so, I mean, it might be still worth what you had it insured for, crashed. So you could end up with whatever the value is plus no plane, or
Right.
buy your plane back for what they gave you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, really good lessons here. So takeaways are get training. That'll lower your insurance rates. Make sure your airplane is insured for the value. And, make sure you're a skilled pilot. That really helps.
One thing that we are working with a lot of older pilots now too, and we've been going around giving a few talks about that. And, as you get older, you might want to consider, rather than just doing your medical every year or every 2 years like the FAA requires, do it every year like a pro pilot.
Right.
And rather than doing your biannual flight review every 2 years, do it every year like a pro pilot.
Doesn't hurt.
And so I like to say, well, we treat those guys like pro pilots. And it works and it helps. If you want to continue to fly when you get older, then continue to train, continue to stay healthy, do your medical every year, not every other year, and do your biannual every year. And
Love
that'll
that.
help. And make sure that your broker communicates what you're doing to the underwriter. Because if they don't communicate that to the underwriter, it's not going to help.
Okay, so Jerry, if somebody out there does not have a broker or is not happy with theirs and wants to give you a call to find out, and how do they reach you?
You can find us at clemensinsurance.net.
Is there a contact form there or something?
Oh yeah, you can reach out to us there. You'll find our phone number there, which is 620-421-9999.
Okay.
And when you get there, you'll hear, "Hi, welcome to Clemens Insurance." That's me.
All right.
And then there's the prompts that you can go through, and if you just press 4, you'll get the aviation division.
Okay. So the phone number, extension 4, that'll get you straight to the aviation.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. And who's answering the phone on the aviation? So you
We have June, Jessica, Lexi.
Right, so you were telling me
And
June
me.
was getting mad because too many people were calling.
Oh yeah, she was. But now we have more pilots, agent pilots that are.
In there. So June
That are
got
in there.
help. So
Oh yeah, we have help, and it's so nice to have good, experienced people
Yeah.
that
can
have
answer the
that-
questions.
and have that compassion and excitement to
Right.
want to help.
All right. Well, Jerry, thanks so much for coming on and for sponsoring our channel. It's meant a lot to us. So I really appreciate you.
I'm glad to be a part of it.
All right, and guys, make sure you do check it out, and make sure you tell June that Dan says hi. So I want you guys to give her some company. She's lonely and bored sometimes, right? No, never.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So-
the other girls were here until just yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time, one-on-one.
We are the ones that can provide the solution to the problem.
I'm having a blast.